Hi, friends. Our read aloud today is called Turquoise Boy, and it's a Navajo legend. Our weekly story this week has to do with a Navajo woman making a rug. It's called The Goat and the Rug. So, all of our stories this week have to do with Native Americans and Native American stories and cultures. Now, this is the only one that is a Navajo legend, so it relates the best to our weekly story. So this is Turquoise Boy. The specific edition was written and adapted by Terry Colleen. So this is a story that would have been passed on, but it was written when it was written down and adapted by this by Terry Colleen, and is illustrated by Charles Reasoner. In the days of long ago, when the Holy Ones still visited this land, a young Navajo named Turquoise Boy looked down on his people. In the heat of the desert, he saw them toil in their fields of corn and squash. He watched them labor under baskets heavy with fruits and nuts. Turquoise Boy was saddened. My father, sun bearer, brings sunshine for the crops, but he offers little else. If only there was something I could do. Mother, he said, the people work hard in their fields and search long in the desert for food. Surely there is something to make life easier for them. Changing Woman looked up from grinding her corn. That may be so, my son, but I am not that may be so, my son. I am not certain. But you are mother of all people. Do you not wish for this also? Changing Woman resumed her grinding. What you seek is not a simple thing, she said. You must prove yourself worthy. Perhaps you would find the answer with the talking gods on the White Shell Mountain of the East. I will do as you say, mother, said Turquoise Boy, and he set off at once. You can see that she's even weaving a rug behind there, like our story. Many days he walked before finally reaching a giant hogan. It was surrounded by baskets filled with white shells. The talking gods greeted him and asked the purpose of his visit. The people work hard in their fields and search long in the desert for food, he said. Surely there is something to make their lives easier. The talking gods shook their heads. What you seek is not ours to give. Take these white shells and go to our brothers of the sacred Turquoise Mountain. Perhaps they know the answer. Turquoise Boy accepted their gift and turned his steps southward. Many suns had passed when he finally reached a giant hogan surrounded by baskets filled with turquoise stones. He greeted the holy ones there and asked them his question. The people work hard in their fields and search long in the desert for food. Surely there is something to make their lives easier? But the talking gods sent him away with only a basket of blue stones. Perhaps our brothers of the yellow abalone shell mountain in the west know the answer, they said. When Turquoise Boy arrived at the holy mountain of the west, the talking gods there said, What you seek is not ours to give. Accept this basket of shells and visit our brothers on the Black Jet Mountain of the north. Perhaps they know the answer. But the talking gods of the north did not give him the answer. Take this basket of jet stones and return to your mother, they said. Who would know better than Changing Woman? So you have the north, east, south, and west. He's gone to all of those talking gods now. Turning his tired moccasins back to Danita, Turquoise Boy carried home the baskets from the talking gods. I have failed, mother, he said. I did not find a way to make life easier for the people. I bring only these gifts from the talking gods. Changing Woman smiled. You have done well, my son, she said. But mother, said Turquoise Boy, I do not understand. The talking gods said you would know how best to make the life easier for the people. In answer, Changing Woman left her grinding stone and went inside to her hogan. Soon she returned with a small pouch of soft deerskin. From each of the 4 baskets she took a shell or stone and dropped it into the pouch. Take this to your father, she said. Surely he will see your worthiness. Turquoise Boy tied the pouch to his belt and traveled towards Sun Bearer's home in the east. He saw rattlesnakes coiled in the sun and scorpions hurrying from one clump of sage to the other. The wind carried the scent of juniper, and an air spirit whispered, This is not an easy path. Perhaps you should turn back. The young Navajo laughed. I am not afraid, my friend. I have walked this path before. I have songs to protect me. Suddenly, fiery hot sand swirled up all around, and cacti hurled their needles. Boulders from the cliffs above fell toward him. Turquoise Boy chanted rhythmically, Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty above me, and beauty beneath me. At once the sand settled into place. The cacti held their spears, and the rocks rolled harmlessly away. Turquoise Boy sang as he walked on, and finally, his path led across a rainbow bridge to Sun Bearer's great hogan. Hissing filled the air as snakes flicked their tongues at him. Strong winds tore his hair, and lightning bolts seared the sky. But Turquoise Boy could not be frightened just then. Frightened away. Just then Sun Bear stepped out from his lodging. He greeted the boy and asked the purpose of his visit. "I bring greetings from Changing Woman, father," said Turquoise Boy, handing him the pouch. "The people work hard in their fields and search long in the desert for food. Surely there is something to make their lives easier." Sun Bearer shook his head. "In what way, my son?" Turquoise Boy thought of the many moons his search had taken him, and of his worn moccasins and sore feet. "Walking is slow and tiring," he said. "Perhaps there is a better way to get from place to place?" Sun Bearer frowned. "I travel on sunbeams, rainbows, and lightning. It is foolish to think mankind could do this." He gave back the deerskin pouch. "Return to your mother. It is time for my daily journey to the west." With a heavy heart, Turquoise Boy once again walked the path homeward. As he crossed the mountain that is wide, he saw a ladder sticking up from a hole in the ground. "It was not here when I passed this way before," he said. "I have heard of a world below. Could this be the way to reach it?" He looked down in the hole and was startled to see an old fat man sitting at the foot of the ladder. "Is that one who walks the earth?" called the man. "It is I, Turquoise Boy. Who are you?" "I have been called many things, but you may call me Mirage Man. Come down so I can see you better." Turquoise Boy descended the 12 rungs and stood in a wide cavern. The old man asked, "What is your purpose in traveling this path?" "I seek a way to make life easier for the people." Mirage Man saw the pouch hanging at the boy's belt. "You are the one I knew would come some day," he said. "Come, I will show you something." He walked along a path until he came to a door facing east. He opened it, and Turquoise Boy gasped. In a white pollen mist, grazing on wildflowers, were magnificent creatures he had never seen before. "These are Sun Bearer's horses," said Mirage Man. Then from Changing Woman's pouch, he took the white shell and placed it in a horse's mouth. Next he removed it and returned it to the pouch, together with the pollen from the horse's mane. "Come," said Mirage Man, and he led the boy to the south meadow. There a sky-colored horse rolled on the ground. Then it stood and shook off a cloud glittering dust. Behind him an entire turquoise herd pranced and neighed. Mirage Man repeated his ceremony with the turquoise stone before showing the boy the yellow herd of the west and the black herd of the north. Each time Mirage Man rolled the proper stone or shell in a horse's mouth and shook pollen from its mane. Finally, Turquoise Boy said, "These animals would indeed make life easier for the people. How can we prove worthy of such a gift?" Mirage Man was pleased with the question. "First you must learn to keep the horse sacred," he said, and he taught Turquoise Boy a holy song. "This you must remember and teach the people of Danita." He handed back the pouch and said, "Go now. Take this to Changing Woman." Turquoise Boy returned home and found his mother weaving cloth outside the hogan. "I bring a song and a gift from Mirage Man," he said. Changing Woman looked up and smiled. "You have indeed proven yourself worthy, my son." She took the pouch. "It is time," she said. "Send messengers to the people and the holy ones. Ask them to come while I go inside and prepare for the hotel." Turquoise Boy did as his mother asked, then went into the hogan to watch her. Changing Woman took a deerskin, spread it on the floor, and put upon it the beads and shells from Mirage Man and the talking gods. Then she laid out ears of white corn, yellow corn, blue corn, and corn of many colors. Over this she sprinkled the sacred pollen. Finally, Changing Woman covered all she had done with 12 more skins. "I am ready," she said. "Now you must help me chant." Outside, the people and talking gods had gathered. Moon was there, and Mirage Man, and the Mist People. Sun Bearer joined them also. They built a fire and sat on the ground chanting. They sang Hogan songs, healing songs, and songs of blessing. Turquoise Boy came out and taught them the song of the horse. Into the night they sang, until finally Sun Bearer left for his daily journey. The god people nodded into sleep, and as they slept, Turquoise Boy closed his eyes tightly and sang for horses. Suddenly there was neighing under the deerskins as they trembled and began to rise. Then, with the first rays of the sun, came horses of white shell, turquoise, yellow abalone, and black jewel. They rose up, kicked off their blankets, and as their numbers increased, the Navajo rejoiced. They rejoiced for their gift, and for Changing Woman, and for Turquoise Boy. To this day, the people of Dainita offer pollen to the winds, and they chant for the sacred horse. Nizkoto and Hiye, Nizkoto and Hiye. How joyous he neighs, how joyous he neighs. So that was Turquoise Boy, a Navajo legend. Have a great day, friends.